Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Belize travel vlog on Beyond 50. Today we are going to review our tour that we took of the Caves Branch River and how we floated through a couple of caves on some inner tubes and what it was like, why we decided to choose this tour versus some of the other ones that are available in the area, and how we enjoyed it. So let's get into it. Some of you may know I used to be a geologist, so I'm going to take a little bit of an opportunity here to put on my geologist pants and talk about the geology of this part of Belize. Actually, Belize and areas close to here in Guatemala, as well as in Mexico, a lot of it is covered in limestone, or the underlying bedrock is all limestone. This leads to what is called karst topography. Karst topography is in a unique landscape formed when soluble rocks such as limestone or dolomite or gypsum over millions of years are eroded away or dissolved by rainwater and groundwater, creating sinkholes, underground rivers, and massive cave systems, and caves just like the one that we're floating through today. This results in a lot of caves just like this in this area of Belize, and there's actually a lot of tours and on other caves available. The most famous is the ATM cave, or what seems to be the most popular cave to tour. But we chose the Branch Cave tour specifically because it's considered sort of a little easier. It's not as difficult if you're not a strong swimmer or not a confident swimmer. And if you're not somebody who's really comfortable in the water, this is a great cave tour to do. And Amy is not super confident being in the water. And so this was something that was good for that both of us could do, with Amy being somebody who's very confident and loves the water, and Amy being somebody who's a little more hesitant to get into deep water. There really wasn't any deep water across this tour. There's a couple spots that were overhead, but our guide Fernando pulled us through all of the areas, and you're wearing a life jacket and you're on a floaty, so it really is never uncomfortable for somebody who's not comfortable being in the water. So if this falls into, if you've got somebody in your group that's maybe not a super strong swimmer or not comfortable being in the water, I would still consider this an excellent trip to do. We never felt at any point that this was dangerous or scary to any degree.
Avocado trees, lime trees, orange trees, and many other kind of trees. And this is
so the first part of the tour was really just a walk through the jungle. And Fernando showed us different trees, different sites across the jungle. Right there, we were looking at a cashew tree that had been planted. The walk was relatively easy. It was about a mile. There really wasn't any significant uphill climbs or anything that was too strenuous. So if you could do a easy 1 mile walk through the forest, you'd be able to do this without ease. So I think this is a fairly accessible tour for most people, regardless of your physical fitness level. And again, like here's Fernando showing us this tree and how the Mayans would use these trees to communicate across long distances by hammering on them. Clearly this tree has been done that quite a bit. You can see the marks on it from there. But it was great. It was a little bit educational, and it was a fun walk through the jungle. And now we are at the initial cave where we first put in. So this was after walking for about a mile, and it was pretty hot. This water felt really nice. So Fernando says, hey, why don't we just jump in and swim for a little bit? So that's exactly what we did. We jumped in the water. It was cool, but not cold. It felt really nice to jump into that water and swim in this water after walking through the hot jungle for the 20-minute walk that it took to get up here. Very nice, very comfortable, and very picturesque. It was sort of this great initial entry into the cave system.
Yeah.
Under the surface of the water, there was a lot of teeny little fish that wanted to eat my skin off of my legs, which mostly just tickled. They were just little fish tasting, little fish doing little taste tests, doing their thing. And there was a lot of fish in this river, so that was pretty cool to see. It was very exciting. It was fun. After about 20 minutes, we got on our tubes and started rafting down the river. So there's some small rapids, keep things a little bit fun, but nothing crazy. And then we actually entered into this cave. And so this is the mouth of the cave. We're going all the way into the dark. So our helmets had headlamps on them so we could see in the dark. And some of the footage here over the next little bit isn't super great just because it's super low light and the GoPro I was using doesn't record super well there.
I'm like speechless. That doesn't happen very often.
Up above us are some small stalactites with water dripping down off of them. Fernando told us this was considered holy water by the Mayans. The water dripping off of these stalactites into the cave was considered the water of life. And looking back out the cave entrance as we're drifting away from it here. We're turning on our headlamps, turning on some lights so we can see in the dark because it does get fully dark as we get further into the cave. This is a little spot where we actually ran into another tour that was doing a bigger tour where the spring water runs into the cave. Fernando actually drank some of this water. I was not going to do that, but and I don't think that wouldn't have been a good idea. But he drank the water, so it was very clean. And this is what I would call a cenote, which is sort of the opening from a sinkhole into the cave system. I booked this tour through cavebranchtours.com, which is the website for the Caves Branch Tour Guide Association, which is actually sort of a collective of companies that run a tour through the Caves Branch River in this part of Belize. So when you book your tour, they sort of rotate through a few different guide companies, and it sort of just gets assigned to whichever one you can choose. So if you want to book with Fernando, you could ask specifically for Fernando when you book. Everybody else that we ran into seemed to be having a great time also, though. So I think any of the tour guide companies that are working through the Tour Guide Association is probably fantastic. We had an amazing time, and you see here's Fernando sort of pulling us through one of the more shallow parts of the river, and as we're sort of coming to the close of the tour. But this was really, I mean, everything we did on this trip in Belize, we had a great time, but this was absolutely one of the outstanding things that we did, and I would really recommend this if anybody's going into this area. This is something I'd highly recommend, and we just had an absolutely great time.
I just need a pina colada.
That's correct. Right.
Look, there's a bar right there.
Correct. I forgot to bring the cooler with beers. But that will be next time then.
Yeah, next time we come. Fernando,
Okay.
bring the beer.
Yes.
Well, this is really the end of our tour, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, like and subscribe. Really help me out, and especially if you want to see any more of this. We got a little bit. There's a couple more Belize videos coming up, and there's going to be a little bit more travel stuff coming up on this channel as well in the near future, as well as more DIY and product reviews coming up. So, hey, thanks for your support. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it, and we'll see you again soon.